Ananya, can I ask you something that's been bothering me for a long time?
Of course. What's on your mind?
Why do some people spend years learning English, memorizing grammar rules and vocabulary, and still struggle to have a simple conversation, while others seem to become fluent much faster?
That's actually one of the most important questions any English learner can ask.
And honestly, I think a lot of our viewers are wondering the same thing. They're putting in effort, they're studying, but they don't see the results they expected.
You're absolutely right. And the surprising thing is that most learners are focusing on the wrong skill.
Now you've made me curious. What skill are they focusing on?
Speaking.
Wait, speaking? Isn't speaking the whole point of learning English?
It is. But speaking is the result, not the starting point.
Interesting. So, if speaking isn't the starting point, what is?
Listening.
Listening? I don't think most people would expect that answer.
Exactly. That's why today's conversation could completely change the way you learn English.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speak English with Pavi.
And welcome to another episode of our English podcast, where we help you improve your English naturally through real conversations.
Whether you're a beginner, an intermediate learner, or someone who simply wants to speak English with more confidence, we're happy you're here.
Every week, we share practical tips, useful vocabulary, and real-life conversations that can help you sound more natural in English.
And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode.
All right, Peter, let's dive into today's topic because I think many learners are making the same mistake without even realizing it.
So tell me, why do you think listening is often ignored by English learners?
Because speaking is what everyone notices. When someone speaks fluent English, people admire them. Nobody looks at a person and says, "Wow, your listening skills are amazing."
That's true. We usually judge our English level by how well we can speak.
Exactly. So learners spend most of their time trying to force themselves to speak, even when their brain hasn't received enough English input.
What do you mean by input?
Think of your brain as a library. Every conversation you listen to adds books to that library. If the library is empty, it's difficult to find words and expressions when you need them.
So you're saying many learners are trying to take books out of a library before they've put enough books into it?
That's a perfect way to describe it.
Wow. I never thought about it like that.
And that's why many learners freeze during conversations. It's not because they're unintelligent. It's because their brain hasn't heard enough English yet.
I think that's going to make a lot of people feel better because many learners blame themselves.
Exactly. The problem isn't usually intelligence. The problem is exposure.
Actually, this reminds me of my own experience.
Really? Tell us about it.
A few years ago, I was obsessed with learning vocabulary. Every day, I would write down new words and try to memorize them.
That sounds familiar. Many learners do exactly the same thing.
The funny thing is that I could remember those words during a test. But when somebody spoke to me in English, I couldn't use them naturally.
So you knew the words, but they weren't part of your active vocabulary yet.
Exactly. Then one day I realized something embarrassing.
What happened?
I had spent hundreds of hours studying English, but very little time actually listening to English.
That's a huge realization.
So I decided to change my approach. Every day I listened to English podcasts, interviews, YouTube videos, and conversations.
Did you understand everything?
Not even close. In the beginning, I missed a lot of words.
And that's completely normal.
But after a few weeks, I noticed that common phrases started sounding familiar. Then entire sentences started sounding familiar.
And that's when your brain starts building patterns.
Exactly. Eventually, I stopped translating every sentence into my native language. I started understanding English directly.
And that's one of the biggest signs of progress.
So, what's the solution for someone who's struggling with English right now?
The solution is surprisingly simple. Listen to English every day.
That sounds easy enough, but I think many people are wondering how much listening they should do.
Even 20 to 30 minutes a day can make a huge difference if you're consistent.
And what kind of content should they listen to?
Anything they genuinely enjoy. Podcasts, movies, interviews, YouTube videos, audiobooks, or English conversations.
So the goal isn't to find the perfect resource.
Exactly. The best resource is the one you'll actually use consistently.
That's a great point because many learners spend weeks searching for the perfect course instead of simply listening.
Consistency beats perfection every single time.
I think that's advice people can apply to many areas of life.
Absolutely.
Can you give us some practical examples of how listening improves speaking?
Of course. Let's imagine you hear native speakers say, "I'm looking forward to it," over and over again in different situations.
Maybe in podcasts, movies, and conversations.
Exactly. At first, it's just another phrase, but after hearing it many times, your brain starts recognizing it automatically.
And then one day when a friend says, "We're going on a trip next week," I naturally reply, "I'm looking forward to it."
Exactly. You don't have to build the sentence word by word because you've already heard it many times.
That sounds much more natural than translating from your native language.
That's because natural speech comes from patterns, not translation.
Can you give us another example?
Sure. Imagine someone asks, "How was your weekend?" A learner who rarely listens might spend several seconds thinking about grammar and vocabulary.
Something like, "Weekend. Good. I stayed at home."
Exactly. But someone who regularly listens to English conversations has probably heard dozens of answers to that question.
So they might say, "It was great. I spent some time with my family and caught up on a few movies."
Perfect. And notice how natural that sounds.
Because the sentence structure is already familiar.
That's the magic of listening. It teaches you how English is actually used in real life.
Before we finish, let's quickly summarize today's lesson.
Number 1. Speaking is important, but listening is the foundation.
Number 2, many learners struggle because they haven't received enough English input.
Number 3. You don't need to understand every word when you listen.
Number 4, consistent daily listening is more effective than occasional intense study sessions.
And number 5. The more English you hear, the more naturally you'll speak.
That's a simple lesson, but it can completely transform the way someone learns English.
Now we'd love to hear from you.
How much English do you listen to every day?
And what's your favorite way to practice listening? Podcasts, movies, YouTube videos, or something else?
Tell us in the comments below. We read your comments and love hearing about your English learning journey.
If you found today's conversation helpful, don't forget to like this video and share it with a friend who's trying to improve their English.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, join our growing community by subscribing to Speak English with Pavi.
We'll be back with another practical English conversation very soon.
Until then, keep listening, keep learning, and keep improving. See you in the next episode of Speak English with Pavi.
See you in the next episode of Speak English with Pavi.